My name is Benjamin Nicola Bracciano. I'm half Italian, half British, and currently a second-year master's student here at the School of Transnational Governance. From my background, I studied a lot democratization and sort of state building and democracy promotion when I was in my undergrad, and I've sort of continued that, but I've also opened my sphere of interest to security and just development more broadly has been my sort of area of focus. For my curricular internship, I went to the World Bank, and I was in the external and corporate affairs or corporate relations team in Brussels. So the team specifically focused on managing the relationship between the EU and the World Bank, particularly as the EU is together collectively between the EU countries is probably the biggest funder of the World Bank, so it's an important relationship. I thoroughly enjoyed my internship. I thought it was very enriching. I really enjoyed how much exposure I got to a lot of multilateral conversations, multilateral diplomacy more broadly. I thought it was very fascinating. I also particularly enjoyed being in Brussels. It was very interesting to be in such a important city for this field, these sort of sectors and these sort of jobs when it comes to multilateral institutions, multilateral diplomacy. It was fascinating. It was a big step up in comparison to when I did internships previously when I was sort of an undergrad level. I was more thrown into the big boy, let's say, part of things where you were, there was more expectation on you, a bit more pressure. You were, the products that you produced or the briefing notes that I produced were, expected to be at a higher caliber than I was used to. And also, I felt because of Brussels being such a dynamic and a big hotspot for this sort of field of work, it was very interesting to sort of network and understand how important it is to build your own network, but also how to engage in sort of networking activities and how to engage with people who work in the field, who are much more experienced than you, and really learn how to make the most out of those sort of opportunities and not to be too shy and to ask the right questions and to not to be scared about showing that you don't know something. And that really helped. I grew a lot in that aspect throughout my internship, that's for sure. I was quite lucky because it really focused on things that I was curious about, especially on this sort of multilateral diplomacy sort of angle of things. And I thought the internship, which I attended quite a few meetings between World Bank executives and the EU institutions, and I got to see this experience firsthand. It really fascinated me, and it really showed me just to understand how these things go down really in reality and behind closed doors when they're meeting one-on-one and or between the two parties. And I really think this internship helped me or confirmed that's the area I would like to continue in. Yeah, so the team that I was working with, we were five people I think in total. The big boss being the special representative of the World Bank to the EU and to NATO and to Belgium. I found the team were very, very nice, a very, very multicultural team from all over the world. Also working in the World Bank context, everyone was very approachable within the office because the Brussels office is quite a small office in terms of World Bank dimensions. And it was very easy to grab coffee with a fellow colleague or to understand better perhaps the ones who were working more on the trust fund side of things or more on the financing or on the advisory teams. It was very easy to maybe ask for a meeting and have a coffee and to understand a bit more the role that they do and what they do exactly and how their interaction with the European institution adds to the mission of the World Bank. And that was very, very interesting. But then I was also put into many opportunities where I was able to meet with sort of people who work in the EU institutions. I attended many events within the EU institutions, and so to also to just network and to chat with people from those institutions as well. It really gave me an insight how that world works and how these sort of people, these sort of professionals in this field, how they interact with each other on a day-to-day basis. And I thought that was very enlightening. I was very keen to go to the World Bank. It was actually one of the reasons why I chose to come to the SDG in the first place. I saw that it had previous internships at the World Bank. Having grown up in a developing country, because I grew up in Tunisia for most of my childhood, and so you would always hear World Bank a lot in these sort of fields, and it was a big name, and I didn't really understand it at first when I was younger. But now that I've grown up and seeing the impact World Bank and how important, how respected the institution is, I was very keen to join and it was definitely a career prospect of mine. So having an experience and how an internal experience on how the institution functions and how and the main goals and main priorities that the bank has, I thought it was extremely enlightening, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was very happy with my experience overall, and I definitely would hope to attempt to look into this, to continue in this field and to continue working in this sort of multilateral development, multilateral cooperation sphere. A lot of my knowledge that I've gained since I've been at the SDG has definitely been very helpful within the internship, but then I also think the internship experience sort of adds to the personal growth that I've had at the SDG in itself, and so I think it worked really well. It sort of put a professional context on a lot of the things that I'd been learning here at the SDG. I found that the subjects and the understanding of transnational governance as a concept is actually a real thing, and it was interesting to see it in fruition in first person. So I found the experience in a professional context was very helpful, and I feel much more confident now that I'm back for my second year on the area of subject that I want to go into.